then again, like I said, you know, some of them will never forgive me. Some of them will. But at least I'm sober. I thank God for that. I'm grateful for that.
Light, camera, action, and cocktails? The entertainment industry has long been synonymous with glitzy parties, flowing champagne, and star-studded events where alcohol seems to be the guest of honor. But not every celebrity is raising a glass these days. In fact, a growing number of A-listers are stepping away from the bar and embracing a sober lifestyle. In this video, we'll shine a spotlight on celebrities who've decided to ditch the drinks and drugs and live life intoxicant-free. From young stars avoiding the pitfalls of fame to industry veterans who've turned their lives around, we'll explore the various reasons these famous faces have chosen sobriety. So grab your favorite mocktail and join us as we dive into the world of celebrity sobriety, where the only thing these stars are intoxicated by is life itself. Robert Downey Jr.
But, I mean, my experience is there's a lot of there's almost like jokes about it, like people go to rehab and suddenly they're the 30-day wonder, and now they're a recovery ranger, and they've gone through the spin dry, and now they've got, I'm fine, I got it all together. You know, nobody is fine.
Doesn't work that way.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Famed for his iconic role as Tony Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Robert Downey Jr. has had a tumultuous journey with addiction. His struggles began in childhood and escalated to drug addiction, leading to multiple stints in rehab and even time in prison. However, Downey Jr. managed to turn his life around and has been sober since 2003. In a 2014 interview with Vanity Fair, he reflected on his journey, saying, "Job one is get out of that cave. A lot of people do get out but don't change. So the thing is to get out and recognize the significance of that aggressive denial of your fate, come through the crucible forged into a stronger metal." His recovery and subsequent career resurgence have made him one of Hollywood's most inspiring comeback stories. Jamie Lee Curtis.
I call myself a junkie. I refer to myself as a junkie simply so I demystify it. I call myself a dope fiend because I'm a dope fiend. This is the addiction issue, but I mean, there are lots of forms of addiction in the universe.
The Halloween star and Hollywood royalty has been open about her struggles with addiction. Curtis battled an opioid addiction for years, which began after a routine cosmetic procedure. In February 2021, she celebrated a significant milestone, sharing on Instagram, "With God's grace and the support of many people who could relate to all the feelings and a couple of sober angels, I've been able to stay sober, one day at a time, for 22 years. Curtis has used her platform to advocate for addiction awareness and recovery, becoming a beacon of hope for many struggling with similar issues. Elton John.
Was bottom for you, or was there a bottom?
Bottom for me was being with Ryan White the week he died in Indianapolis, seeing his family so dignified, forgiving people that had been horrible to them, losing a child and having so much dignity, whereas I, in my life, would complain about everything. And I just knew at that point that my life was out of whack. I knew beforehand, but that was the point I really realized it. And a month after that, I got sober and clean. That was a real big turning point for me.
The legendary musician's battle with addiction spanned decades and nearly derailed his career. Elton John struggled with alcohol and cocaine addiction throughout the 1970s and 1980s. In 1990, he decided to get sober after witnessing the AIDS crisis and realizing he needed to change his life. Since then, he has been a vocal advocate for addiction recovery and HIV/AIDS awareness. In his autobiography, Me, John reflected on his sobriety, saying, "I am a survivor. I've survived a lot of things. Life is full of challenges." Drew Barrymore.
This is a toxic behavior for me, and my whole life it held me back because I knew that I couldn't surrender to something nor give it up. It was like that definition of insanity. You do the same shit over and over again, expecting a different result. I was a complete prisoner of my own behavior. And finally, 3.5 years ago, I was like, I can't do this anymore. It doesn't work for me.
The actress and talk show host who rose to fame as a child star in E.T. had a notoriously troubled youth, entering rehab at the age of 13 for drug and alcohol abuse. Barrymore has been open about her journey to sobriety, which she achieved in her early 20s. In December 2021, She revealed on CBS this morning that she had quit drinking alcohol 2.5 years prior, stating, "It was something I realized just did not serve me and my life." Her candid approach to discussing her past struggles and ongoing commitment to sobriety has inspired many fans. Tim McGraw.
Because the further you got away from dealing with things and sort of blunted it with alcohol or drugs or whatever you're using, the harder it was going to be to deal with it in the long run. That being said, I still haven't dealt with anything, but at least I'm sober.
The country music superstar credits his wife, Faith Hill, with helping him achieve sobriety. McGraw struggled with alcohol for years before deciding to get sober in 2008. In an essay for Esquire magazine, he recalled the moment he knew he needed to change. "I remember a moment when I was getting out of bed and going to the liquor cabinet and taking a big shot at 8 o'clock in the morning and thinking, I have to wake the kids up. I went straight to my wife and said, 'This is where I'm at.' I was scared." McGraw has maintained his sobriety since then, focusing on his health, family, and music career. Florence Welch.
What would you say to your 17-year-old self now?
Just put that drink down, eat a sandwich.
The lead singer of Florence, plus the Machine, has been candid about her journey to sobriety. Welch struggled with alcohol addiction early in her career, using it as a coping mechanism for her shyness and anxiety. In February 2021, she celebrated 7 years of sobriety with an Instagram post writing, "I am 7 years sober today. I send my love and support to anyone who is struggling." If you are feeling shaky around ED issues, drugs, or alcohol, I completely understand. The desire to disassociate is so strong, but please don't give up. We are going to need you on the other side. Welch's powerful vocals and poetic lyrics have often touched on themes of addiction and recovery, resonating with fans worldwide. Bradley Cooper.
Oh, I'm so glad you're telling me this. Wait, tell me, because you first of all, you smelled so bad like alcohol, and we thought maybe that's the kind of guy you were, and we hired you off of your first audition. Wow. So I learned a big lesson.
The acclaimed actor and director, known for his memorable roles in A Star is Born and the Hangover trilogy, battled addiction to alcohol and painkillers early in his career. Cooper got sober at the age of 29, crediting this decision with saving his acting career and allowing him to take care of his father during his illness. In a 2016 interview with Barbara Walters, Cooper stated, "I would never be sitting here with you. No way, no chance, if I hadn't stopped drinking." His commitment to sobriety has not only enhanced his personal life, but also deepened his performances, allowing him to take on more challenging and nuanced roles. Demi Lovato.
I started using recreationally, and obviously you can't do that with heroin before you become addicted to it.
The pop star and ex-Disney Channel actress has been remarkably candid about her struggles with addiction and mental health. Lovato's journey has included multiple stays in rehab and a near-fatal overdose in 2018. They have since embraced a California sober approach, which involves abstaining from hard drugs while still using marijuana in moderation. In their 2021 docuseries, Dancing with the Devil, Lovato shared, "I've learned that it doesn't work for me to say that I'm never going to do this again. I know I'm done with the stuff that's going to kill me, right? Telling myself that I can never have a drink or smoke marijuana, I feel like that's setting myself up for failure because I am such a black and white thinker." Rob Lowe.
And let's talk about sobriety.
Yeah.
Because you've struggled with addiction, right?
I'll be sober for it'll be 30 years this. I mean, if I get there, this could have gin in it tomorrow.
The Parks and Recreation star has been sober for over 3 decades, a journey that began in 1990. Lowe's decision to get sober came after realizing how his addiction was affecting his family and career. In a 2021 interview, he reflected on his 30 years of sobriety, saying, "The only way to stay in recovery is to be honest with yourself on a minute-by-minute basis. No secrets, no double life. And you have to get real. That's what acting is all about. being real and being honest. Lowe has used his experience to help others, including his son John Owen, who celebrated 5 years of sobriety in 2023. Lily Allen.
My only ever drink problem was that I was a complete lightweight, which is why you'd always see pictures of me with my eyes rolling in the back of my head because I can't take my booze.
The British singer-songwriter has been open about her struggles with alcohol and drugs. Allen achieved sobriety in 2019 after years of substance abuse. In July 2020, she celebrated 1 year of sobriety on Instagram, writing, "1 year completely sober. So grateful for my health and happiness." Allen has credited her sobriety with improving her mental health and relationships, particularly with her children. Her journey to recovery has also influenced her music, with her later work often touching on themes of personal growth and self-reflection. Jack Osbourne.
In recovery, they talk about it's that threefold disease. It's the mental obsession, the physical allergy, and the spiritual malady.
The reality TV star and son of rock legend Ozzy Osbourne has been sober since 2003, overcoming addiction at a young age. Osbourne's journey to sobriety began shortly after his 18th birthday when he entered rehab for OxyContin addiction. In April 2021, he celebrated 18 years of sobriety, writing on Instagram, "It's not that it gets easier or harder, it's just that it's life on life's terms. If anyone is trying to get sober, know that it is possible if you are willing to do the work." Osbourne has used his platform to raise awareness about addiction and mental health, particularly in young people. Ben Affleck.
I got sober for a year and a half. I wanted to be sober, I committed to it. And the problem with that fight is you can win 1,000 times, you only have to give in once.
The Oscar-winning actor and director has been open about his struggles with alcohol addiction. Affleck has been to rehab multiple times, with his most recent stay in 2018. In a 2020 interview with the New York Times, he reflected on his journey, saying, "Relapse is embarrassing, obviously. I wish it didn't happen. I really wish it wasn't on the internet for my kids to see." Jen and I did our best to address it and be honest. Affleck has credited his ex-wife Jennifer Garner and his children as motivations for maintaining his sobriety, focusing on being present and healthy for his family. Kelly Osbourne.
I was 2 years sober, and it's completely changed my life. I didn't think that I could do anything if I wasn't drunk or high, because I was scared of everything.
The television personality and daughter of Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne has had a public battle with addiction. Osbourne has been to rehab multiple times and celebrated periods of sobriety before relapsing. In April 2021, she shared on Instagram that she had relapsed after nearly 4 years of sobriety, but was back on track. She said, "This is a little hard for me to talk about, but I've always promised you that I will always be honest with you about where I'm at and what's going on in my road to recovery." Osbourne's openness about her struggles has helped destigmatize addiction and relapse, showing that recovery is an ongoing process. Anthony Hopkins.
But 45 years ago today, I had a wake-up call. I was heading for disaster, drinking myself to death. I'm not preachy, but I got a message, a little thought that said, "Do you want to live or die?" And I said, "I want to live."
The legendary actor, arguably best known for his iconic role as Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs, has been sober since 1975. Hopkins' decision to quit drinking came after he woke up in Arizona with no recollection of how he got there. In a video posted on X, formerly Twitter, in December 2020, he celebrated 45 years of sobriety, saying, "45 years ago today, I had a wake-up call. I was headed for disaster. I was drinking myself to death. I'm not preachy, but I got a message, a little thought that said, 'Do you want to live or die?' And I said, 'I want to live.' And suddenly, the relief came, and my life has been amazing." Macklemore.
Each person is different. I'm around people all the time that drink alcohol. I probably don't want to be in a room full of a bunch of people smoking blunts.
The Grammy-winning rapper has been open about his struggles with drug addiction and his journey to sobriety. Macklemore first got sober in 2008, but relapsed in 2011 and again in 2014. In a 2020 interview, he shared, "I was about to die. I was lucky enough to go to a facility and get help, and I made it out of that. So that is the one thing that I would say to anybody that's listening to this. If you're going through it, you're not alone, and get some help." Macklemore's music often touches on themes of addiction and recovery, using his platform to raise awareness and inspire others. Zac Efron.
I mean, I made the choice early on to sort of stay away from it, and because I realized what it was doing to me mentally, and I wanted to be at peace with myself and with what everyone was putting out there, and just leave it alone.
The High School Musical star entered rehab in 2013 for alcohol and substance abuse. Since then, Efron has been open about his journey to sobriety and the challenges of maintaining it in Hollywood. In a 2016 interview with Elle, he said, "What I found is structure. That led me to a balance of opposites. You get out of life what you put in." Efron has credited his sobriety with helping him find balance and focus in his life and career, allowing him to take on more challenging roles and pursue his passions outside of acting. Jada Pinkett Smith.
I could drink almost anybody under the table. Damn. Yeah, Will specifically. Now, Will's a lightweight.
The actress and talk show host has been sober for over 20 years. Pinkett Smith realized she had a problem when she found herself drinking at least 2 bottles of wine on the couch each night. She has been an advocate for sobriety ever since, often discussing addiction and recovery on her show Red Table Talk. In one episode, she shared, "I think back on my life like I am a walking miracle. No doubt about that. People will not believe." Her openness about her journey has helped many viewers confront their own struggles with addiction. Lena Dunham.
I've been very open about the fact that, toward the end of my illness, I developed a serious addiction to benzodiazepines, to Klonopin. Like, I was addicted to anti-anxiety medication. I was a good old-fashioned pillhead. I was like, that is what I like to call it, because I don't think that there needs to be a cute word for it.
The creator and star of HBO's Girls disclosed her struggle with prescription drug addiction in 2018. On Dax Shepard's podcast, Armchair Expert, Dunham shared, "I've been sober for 6 months. My particular passion was Klonopin." She went on to explain how her addiction affected her creativity and decision-making, saying, "I do see the way I medicated myself negatively impacted people around me and decimated my decision-making and hurt my creativity. And so I just feel like literally on my knees, grateful every single day." Dunham's candid discussions about her recovery have helped shed light on prescription drug addiction. Russell Brand.
I became a drug addict, I think, because of emotional difficulties, psychological difficulties, and perhaps a spiritual malady.
The comedian and actor has been sober since 2002, overcoming addictions to heroin, alcohol, and other substances. Brand has been vocal about his recovery journey and has written extensively on the subject. In a 2013 article for The Guardian, he wrote, "It is 10 years since I used drugs or drank alcohol, and my life has improved immeasurably. I have a job, a house, a cat, good friendships, and generally a bright outlook." Brand has used his platform to advocate for better understanding and treatment of addiction, often challenging societal views on substance abuse and recovery. Daniel Radcliffe.
Actors have to be like crazy, cool drunks. Like, I have to live up to this weird image I have in my head of what it is to be like a famous actor or something. And then at a certain point, it becomes about like, who are you actually?
The Harry Potter star struggled with alcohol addiction during and after his time in the famous franchise. Radcliffe got sober in 2010 at the age of 22. In a 2019 interview with Sam Jones, he reflected on his journey, saying, "There was definitely a time when I was coming out of Potter and I was into the real world. Suddenly, I was in a world where I'm not going to have that consistency anymore. I'm not going to see all those people every year. I'm still trying to figure out who I am and what I want to do." Radcliffe's openness about his struggles has helped many young adults dealing with similar issues. Jessica Simpson.
And I wasn't in the right place. I had started a spiral and I couldn't catch up with myself. And that was with alcohol.
The singer and fashion designer stopped drinking in November 2017, realizing that alcohol was preventing her from being present for her children. In her memoir, Open Book, Simpson wrote about her decision to get sober, saying, "I was killing myself with all the drinking and pills. Giving up the alcohol was easy. I was mad at that bottle at how it allowed me to stay complacent and numb." Simpson's honesty about her struggles and her journey to sobriety has resonated with many fans, showing that it's never too late to make a positive change. Jason Biggs.
I knew how to get wasted enough to where I took myself out of the life equation, took myself out of the present, didn't have to connect in a way that made me feel things.
Yes. The American Pie actor celebrated 1 year of sobriety in October 2018, sharing the news on Instagram. Biggs wrote, "I first tried to get sober over 5 years ago when the weight of my obsession with booze and drugs became too heavy for me to handle. Turns out this CD is hard. After some fits and starts, I've managed to put together 1 year of sobriety." His candid post about the challenges of getting and staying sober has helped many people feel less alone in their struggles. Tom Hardy.
To be honest, because a lot of it's blackout, isn't it?
So you would black out?
Of course.
And this was what, alcohol?
Yeah, and everything else. Yeah.
Everything else? What is that, all the different substances available?
Yeah.
Most of them?
Everything.
Wow. Everything? All in one evening?
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
The Venom star has been sober since 2003, overcoming addictions to alcohol and crack cocaine. Hardy has been open about how his addictions nearly derailed his acting career and personal life. In a 2017 interview with Esquire, he said, "If I had 4 pints of lager and half a bottle of vodka, I could turn this room into an absolute F-King nightmare in about 3 minutes. I could destroy everything in my life I have worked so hard for." Hardy's journey to sobriety has not only saved his life, but also allowed him to become one of Hollywood's most respected actors. Sia.
Admit fear and defeat and humility or whatever. That seems to be when I started to really, I seemed to be able to translate what I was feeling and thinking into words that were understandable. Oh, take it. Oh, take it.
The Australian singer-songwriter has been sober for over a decade, overcoming addictions to alcohol and drugs. Sia has been open about how her addictions affected her career and mental health. In a 2013 interview with Billboard, she said, "I was really unhappy being an artist, and I was getting sicker and sicker." Her sobriety has allowed her to focus on her music and philanthropy, becoming one of the most successful songwriters and performers in the industry. Rap God has been sober since 2008, overcoming addictions to prescription medications. Eminem's journey to sobriety came after a near-fatal overdose in 2007. In 2020, he celebrated 12 years of sobriety on social media, posting a photo of his sobriety chip with the caption, "Clean dozen, in the books, I'm not afraid." His battle with addiction and subsequent recovery have been central themes in his music, inspiring many fans to seek help for their own struggles. Colin Farrell.
So much of the work that I did, I was struggling so hard just to keep my shit together a lot of the time. Like, genuinely, a lot of my energy was going in just to try and not have a complete meltdown in front of Al Pacino.
The Irish actor has been sober since 2006, after years of struggling with alcohol and drug addiction. Farrell has been open about how his addictions affected his career and personal life. In a 2019 interview with The Independent, he said, "I had created an environment for myself, a way of living for myself, which simply put, was no good." Since getting sober, Farrell has experienced a career resurgence and has become an advocate for addiction recovery. Kristin Davis.
I was sober before I got famous, thank God, because I really fear for these girls and men, everybody who's struggling. I'm really happy to be sober, and it's like it's a day-by-day thing that you kind of feel connected to everybody else who is struggling with this.
The Sex and the City star has been sober since the age of 22, realizing early in her life that alcohol was jeopardizing her acting ambitions. In a 2008 interview with The Week, Davis shared, "I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've never hit it, but I've been sober the whole time I've been famous, so it wasn't like I had to go to rehab publicly." Her long-term sobriety has allowed her to build a successful career and become a role model for those struggling with addiction. John Mayer.
And it wasn't an AA thing. I managed to find a way to have it make sense on my own. But I always tell myself now, like, if you think about doing it again, you've just tallied up the pros and cons wrong. Do it again.
The Grammy-winning musician decided to get sober in 2016 after Drake's 30th birthday party. Mayer shared with Complex in 2018, "I looked out the window and I went, okay, John, what percentage of your potential would you want to have? Because if you say you'd like 60 and you'd like to spend the other 40 having fun, that's fine. But what percentage of what is available to you would you like to make happen? There's no wrong answer. What is it? I went 100-y. Since then, Mayer has focused on his music and personal growth, showing that sobriety can lead to increased creativity and productivity. Lala Kent.
I feel like this could be something that I have an issue with. So I'm making an adult decision to never have a drink again.
The Vanderpump Rules star got sober in October 2018, following the death of her father. Kent has been open about her journey, sharing on Instagram in December 2018. Today marks 60 days that I've been sober, and it's been the best 60 days that I've been sober, and it's been the best 60 days that I've had in a really long time. Kent's journey has inspired many of her fans and fellow cast members to examine their own relationships with alcohol. Anne Hathaway.
I quit drinking back in October.
Like forever?
For 18 years. I'm gonna stop drinking while my son's living in my house, just because I don't totally love the way I do it, and he's getting to an age where he really does need me all the time in the mornings. Wow. Yeah.
The Oscar-winning actress, known for roles in The Devil Wears Prada and Les Miserables, decided to stop drinking alcohol in 2019. Hathaway made this choice not due to addiction issues, but because she felt alcohol wasn't serving her well as a parent. In a 2019 interview, she explained that hangovers with a young child were particularly challenging. Hathaway has been open about how sobriety has improved her life, saying she's more present and energetic. Her decision highlights that sobriety can be a positive lifestyle choice, even for those without severe alcohol problems. Tom Holland.
And I just sort of said to myself, like, why am I enslaved to this drink? Why am I so obsessed by the idea of having this drink?
The Spider-Man star revealed in 2023 that he had been sober for over a year. Holland's decision to quit drinking came after he realized alcohol was negatively impacting his mental health. He shared that preparing for his role in the psychological thriller series The Crowded Room helped him recognize triggers and stressors in his own life. Holland has been candid about how sobriety has improved his well-being, and hopes his openness will encourage others to prioritize their mental health. Jon Pardi.
I've been 112 days sober.
Amazing!
Congratulations. Thank you. I've lost a bunch of weight, and I was pre-diabetic, and I was just like, I gotta stop.
The country music star, known for hits like Dirt on My Boots and Heartache Medication, revealed in December 2023 that he had been sober for 112 days. Pardi's decision to quit drinking was primarily health-driven. He shared, "I was pre-diabetic and I was just like, I gotta stop." The singer noted significant improvements in his physical appearance and overall well-being since embracing sobriety. Pardi's openness about his journey highlights the health benefits of sobriety beyond addiction recovery. Isaak Presley.
Under a coping mechanism that wasn't healthy. Like, I'd been drinking a bit. I didn't have a drinking problem, but I was drinking a lot more than normal.
You binge drink?
I was binge drinking.
The former Disney Channel actor, known for his role in Stuck in the Middle, opened up about his sobriety journey in August 2023. Presley revealed he had been sober from pills for 3 years and had quit drinking and using other substances 6 months prior. His decision came after a personal wake-up call following an arrest. Presley's story emphasizes how young actors in Hollywood can face substance abuse challenges and the importance of self-reflection in recovery. Liam Payne.
I was like, you know what, this just isn't serving me at all. I don't really need this right now. It's the first time I've ever put a drink down and gone to someone else, yeah, you finished that, I don't need it. And I haven't picked one up since, which has almost been 6 months, which I'm excited about. It's good. It's good to be in this position. And yeah, I definitely don't need those things anymore. Party's over.
The former One Direction member shared in May 2023 that he had achieved 100 days of sobriety. Payne has been open about his struggles with alcohol in the past, particularly during his time in the globally famous boy band. His announcement of sobriety was met with support from fans, and he expressed feeling amazing about this milestone. Payne's journey highlights the pressures young celebrities face and the possibility of positive change. Lucy Hale.
And I just held on to that belief that real Lucy came out when she was drinking. I was willing to just go to this crazy dark place every time.
The Pretty Little Liars star celebrated 1 year of sobriety in February 2023. Hale shared her achievement on Instagram, writing, "While this journey has mostly been private, I felt compelled tonight to let anyone who is struggling know that you are not alone and you are loved." Her decision to go public with her sobriety journey demonstrates the power of vulnerability and the importance of support in recovery. Daryl Sabara.
You know, because I never thought I really had a problem with alcohol. I thought it was honestly more weed. But I poured Megan a glass of wine one day, and I had a hard day, and I was just like looking at that glass of wine, and I was like, ooh, like I don't know why I want to drink this right now.
The Spy Kids actor revealed in January 2023 that he was fully sober, having stopped using alcohol and marijuana. Sabara shared that he recognized being alone was a trigger for him, and that sobriety has helped him face his inner struggles more directly. His openness about identifying triggers and making lifestyle changes provides valuable insights for others on similar journeys. Sam Worthington. The Avatar star reflected on being 8 years sober in a December 2022 interview. Worthington admitted that his drinking had become problematic, affecting his work and personal life. He shared, "I couldn't see it. I thought it was normal. I didn't like who I was. Drinking helped me get through the day." Worthington's story highlights how even successful actors can struggle with addiction and the importance of self-awareness in recovery. Tom Felton.
Tom, I think this is the 12th intervention that I've been to, and 6 of those are dead. Don't be the 7th.
The actor best known for playing Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter series opened up about his struggles with substance abuse in his 2022 memoir. Felton revealed that he had been to rehab 3 times, with his 3rd and successful attempt coming after he realized he needed to make a change. His candid sharing of his journey, including relapses, provides a realistic view of the challenges of recovery and the possibility of overcoming them. Shia LaBeouf.
I wound up at this rehab, right, in Utah, and they do something called Family Week. And every week, on a Sunday, everybody who's involved in the program has their family show up on these Skype calls. And everybody will show up in the same room. And your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your wife, your friends, whatever.
Just you and the people? Or
no, it's you, the whole squad of you that are in this group. Like 12 of us in my class.
Everyone's family.
Everyone's family pops up on the screen. And week 1, no one shows up. For me, no one.
The Transformers star shared in August 2022 that he had achieved 627 days of sobriety. LaBeouf's journey to sobriety came after facing legal troubles and allegations of abuse. He described his recovery as "my great humbling," emphasizing the transformative power of sobriety. LaBeouf's story underscores how facing one's demons can lead to personal growth and change. Charles Kelley.
You know, it was so obvious that like my marriage was not in a great place. The band was just always worried about me. And I was like, this is exhausting. I've got to do something about it. And I tried to do it myself a few times over the past few years, and you know, it was like just white knuckling it, unhappy.
The Lady A band members' journey to sobriety became public when the group postponed their Request Line tour in August 2022 to support his recovery. The band's statement emphasized their support for Kelley, highlighting the importance of a strong support system in the recovery process. Kelley's story shows how addiction can affect not just individuals, but entire teams and careers. Jamie Campbell Bower.
When I discovered alcohol, it was like all of this fear goes away. It just disappears. And you marry that with an inability to, you know the fact that I don't have an off switch. It's a catalyst for total disaster.
The Stranger Things actor shared in July 2022 that he was celebrating 7.5 years of sobriety. Bower has been open about his past struggles with addiction, which led to hospitalization for mental health issues. His message of hope and encouragement to others struggling with addiction demonstrates the power of using one's platform to inspire change. Now it's time to hear from you. Have any of these celebrities' sobriety journeys inspired you or someone you know? Which star's story resonated with you the most and why? Share your clear-headed insights in the comments section below.